Golly, I always just miss Taryn. Taryn, if you're still listening, good luck with the pickup. Hope to see you later. Oh my goodness. Who we got here today? We've got My with First. We got Faded Stardust here as well. And Taryn. We got Exiled Faye. We got Joe. Oh my goodness. Not at work today, but also haven't been getting any work done. Listen, you have been very productive lately, and sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need a break, and that's okay. If today needs to be a break day, that's okay. You gotta recharge. Happy Thursday. I crashed so hard last night that when Ghost came in to kiss me before work today, I had no idea what day it was. There was a hot minute where I thought it was Monday, and I was like, no, wait, dear God, it is not Monday. Pie is here as well. And Shy! Pie and Shy. Ghostly Shy, how's it going? New tablet to do some clicky clackies on. Heck yeah, we love breaking in those new electronics. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hello, it is today. Today is Thursday. Oh, I evidently, when I updated my overlay, I did it wrong and I didn't notice. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Now you can actually see what I'm working on today. Wow, it's that kind of day, isn't it? It is. Today is today. It is today. And it's technically always today. Tomorrow technically never comes. I liked that in, for anyone else who watches, Dimension 20, in Star Trek Odyssey, there was a character who would always say, dying tomorrow. And so the characters were like, why are you dying tomorrow? And he was like, well, essentially, tomorrow never comes, so I'll never die. He's like, is it tomorrow? Then I ain't dying. Been up since 4 a.m. and I've gotten a whole 137 words written. Now, why have you been up since 4 a.m.? Isn't it your day off? Why 4 a.m.? Did an animal make this choice for you? I remember. Dying tomorrow. Exiled Faye, how's it going? We haven't seen you in a few days. Did you finish your training? Didn't even have a cat in the room. So this was just I woke up at 4 and my brain was like, we're done sleeping now and I have to get up. Is that what happened? Because it sounds like maybe you need a nap. I don't know. Still technically in training, but working on my own. Well, good, because that means we can have more of you, and we like having you around. Goodness gracious, man, I'm so late again today. It's been one of those weeks where every morning I'm like, I'm gonna be organized this morning. I'm gonna get through the stuff. I'm gonna do the things. I'm gonna be on time. That doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. At some point, I look at a clock and I'm like, oh, that's way later than, that's not the time I thought it was. I woke up at 10:20. Ah, that sounds divine. And realized that I had a therapy appointment at 10. No! No, Faded Stardust, I'm so sorry. I emailed my therapist and told him I guess I needed the extra sleep. True, if you sleep that late, you definitely need it. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I must have just, like, been hard asleep. So when Ghost Pepper came in this morning, because every day before he goes to work, Ghost Pepper comes in and kisses me before he leaves. And I usually wake up, like, just enough to say, I love you, have a good day. I don't even know what I said this morning, because I distinctly remember being like, it's Monday. and then being like, no, dear God, it can't be Monday. And then rolling over and going back to sleep. So it'll be interesting to see what he says when he gets home about how I was responding this morning. But here we are, Thursday, aka today. Yeah, it's been a rainy week here because it's always rainy in the fall, which I don't so much mind. But it does wreak havoc on my sinuses, so I think I sound a little rough today. I'm just, you know, we're just on like day 4 of the rain, so it is what it is. It's supposed to rain this weekend. That's right, Mai. You probably don't get a lot of rain. We get a lot of rain in the fall. It's like the hallmark of spring and fall here is rain, which I don't mind. I am a pluviophile, but I don't know. There must have been a pressure change in the night or something. Pacific Northwest rainy fall gang. Heck yeah. Oh, you're in Oregon. Faded Stardust. Yes, we are in the same region. I've not actually been to Oregon. But I have been to Washington. Have been to Seattle a couple times. I would love to make it down to Oregon. It sounds like, from what I've heard, it's very pretty there. But I have not been. But I do think we have mostly the same weather. It is rainy in the spring and fall. It is hot in the summer. It is snow in the winter. Would love to visit the Pacific Northwest. Do recommend. We have dancing frogs protesting ice. That has a different meaning in 2025 than it would have 10 years ago. Definitely has a different meaning in 2025. Pacific Northwest is beautiful. I grew up in New England, so another beautiful place. I grew up in central Pennsylvania. I think I've mentioned that before. I don't mind mentioning it. Grew up in central Pennsylvania in a little town named Selinsgrove. So if you've heard of it, aren't you special? Sardonisms, hello, how's it going? 2025, where facts are made up and nothing has meaning, and the dancing frogs protest ice. Not the ice you're thinking of, not the icicle kind. New England is a different kind of beautiful. It's really interesting because this is going to be a weird tangent, but I grew up in New England. So, you know, grew up around like that, colonial sort of feel, right? Like, there were historical districts and there were places where, you know, the buildings had been preserved in their original form, and you had like the markets. It's Amish country, so you had like the Amish markets and stuff as well. It kind of preserves that like old-timey feel of everything. And you have these buildings that are really old and these like forests that have been like cultivated and watched over for, you know, 200 years. And then we moved to England, and shit there is old, like old, like 1,000 years old. And you're like, yeah, I thought this building near where I grew up was old because it was like 2 centuries old. And then you're in a building and they're like, yeah, this building is made from 1500s sailing ships that were dismantled. We have like actual age of sail graffiti in our attic. And you're like, because that's old. That's older than anything possibly can be in our part of the world, right? So New England was beautiful. Grew up, you know, in a temperate area where you get the 4 seasons. You get the beautiful colors in the fall on the mountains and everything. But out here, the Pacific Northwest is a different kind of beautiful, different kind of mountains, different kinds of landscape, different kind of weather, even though it's still 4 distinct seasons. And I do love it. I never thought I would be able to leave the East Coast, but I'm glad I did. Once upon a time, I wanted to move to Seattle because it's the exact opposite of here, but it never happened. Seattle is a really interesting city. It does rain a lot. It rains a lot there. I do protest ice every year because burr. I nearly lost my streak. I did not realize I missed one yesterday. No, mad lad! Anyway, here now with a chance to save my streak. Heck yeah. Yeah, I noticed that if you stream like 24 hours later, and if the person watches the new stream, they can like maintain their streak. I don't entirely understand how it works, but a couple times I've been lurking on a stream and it's been like, you saved your streak, and I was like, okay. Sure. Mom and godmother both came to my neurologist appointment today. How did it go, Sardinisms? If you want to say, obviously, if you're not comfortable saying, don't say. Don't say anything you're not comfortable saying. I'm assuming you live in desert area, based on what I know of where you live. I don't think I could do that. That's the one thing I don't think I could do. I don't think I could be in a place where it never rains. I don't know how I would cope with never having rain. Some summers we go for like 2.5 months without rain, and it drives me a little nuts. But we tend to get enough rain in the spring and fall that it's like, okay, it balances out. But I don't know if I could live in a place year round where it was just sunny all the time. I don't think I could do it. My brother at one point was thinking about moving to New Mexico. And I was just like, I'm happy for you. Couldn't do it. Central PA is unseasonably cold all of a sudden. Oh no! But is it snowing there? I guess maybe it's not quite time for snow yet. I think it's fascinating that people in England long for the warm, the tropical, and the hot due to our rainy, cold temperature. Meanwhile, I want to move away to Iceland to live among the snow and ice. Oh man, it rained a lot in England. The year that we lived in England was the rainiest year on record since they had started measuring at the time. There's probably been a rainier one since. And it was a little too much even for me. I do admit there was a point where I looked at my husband and I was like, I love rain, but I would like a sunny day. I get to see a specialist I've never seen before. I've been referred to an oncologist. And get an EEG, an EEG. Good luck, Sardinisms. I don't know much about oncology, but I did do a fair amount of reading about EEGs when I wrote the Aravalia Chronicles for reasons. It's not snowing, but the wind. Uh-oh. Well, I hope it settles down, Exiled Fae. New Mexico can have seasons, though. Here it's summer, not quite summer. I think the part of New Mexico he was moving to was desert. Because I can't remember what city it was, but he sent me pictures and I like looked at it and I was like, I'm happy for you. And I was like, I could not live here. I couldn't. Was it New Mexico or was it... I think it was New Mexico. I'm wondering if I'm mixing up New Mexico and Arizona, but I think it was New Mexico. Got to see the pics. The thing is right on the outside of my brain, so that seems like good news if it needs to be removed. No, that if you are comfortable with sharing that, Sardinisms, it is not too much information at all. That does sound, again, I don't know a ton about oncology, but that does sound like good news to me, because if they don't have to go digging around in there, that seems much safer and easier for them to do. The EEG is to see if the thing is causing or might cause seizures. I see. I am baffled on why people choose the desert. It was chosen for me when I was 4. I'm assuming there are job opportunities there. My brother was, I don't know how much I can say because he would have needed security clearance for this job. But my brother, does stuff with fluid physics. Like he works on a program that, models fluid physics, which actually we don't. It's kind of funny. We don't actually have a lot of really good computer models for measuring fluid physics. There's like one city out west that has built like a miniature version of their water system, and that's actually like the best and most accurate way to track a water system, because we don't actually have really good computer models, so that's what my brother does. And so he was moving out there to work on something related to that, but I don't think he could tell me what because it was a security clearance related job. He didn't ultimately take it. I don't know why. But it was something that he looked into and I was just like, I could never. I'm a Pacific Northwest native, can't do no precipitation. See, I grew up on the East Coast and I feel the same way. New Mexico does have some desert areas too, I think. I think there's a place called White Sands I went through with my great-grandmother on an awesome road trip. I kind of remember from when I was 6. You know, I think deserts are pretty. They do have their beauty. And I love cacti and succulents. I feel like we live in the best of both worlds because we can grow succulents here, because we're actually, I don't know about Faded Stardust, but I'm actually in a semi-arid, so we're actually in a slightly different climate region than Vancouver, which is 4.5 hours west of here. So we're in semi-arid, so we can grow all those really pretty desert plants, but we still get rain. We still get rain in the fall and in the spring. And it doesn't hurt the cacti and the succulents because they go dormant at that time of year anyway, or they slow down. So they don't get drowned in the water, I think. I think that's how it works. Or they've just adapted to the amount of rain that we get. But outside of brain sounds way better than inside of brain. I agree. I don't know that I've talked about this before, and I don't know how to pronounce it properly, so I'm probably going to say it wrong, but my mother had has a very rare disease. I think it's called Chiari. It's spelled like Chari, where essentially, like, I don't know the details accurately, but essentially the top part of her neck / the very bottom, like, base part of her brain, the way that like her body developed, it didn't give quite enough space for like the way the brainstem works, and essentially her brain was like being pulled down the back of her spine. It sounds really horrible, but it doesn't, it's like, it was a thing that caused her pain throughout her life. But once they found out what it was, they were able to do, basically they did an operation where they sort of open up a little bit of the back part of your skull to give your brain more space. And then they put like a plate in there, to serve as your skull, right? So she has a medical plate in her head in that place. But she had that operation done, I think about, it has to be going on 10 years ago now. And she's been in much better health since. So I know anything related to brain and brain surgery is a little bit scary, but they know a lot more now than they used to. And it's not like it was when we were younger. Like, I'm assuming that is from the surgery that my mom had to have. So, um, but, I mean, she was okay. I don't know. I don't know if that was in any way a helpful story to hear. I'm sorry. I realized after saying it, I was like, I don't even actually know if that sounds reassuring at all. I was trying to say something reassuring, and if I didn't, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Uh, I am a doofus sometimes. New Mexico does have some desert areas. Oh, we read that one. They do have a unique beauty. I love the Sonoran. Is that correct? Sonoran Desert? Versus some of the other deserts. There's plants, cacti, and a bit more than just sand. I just like rain and green a lot. Yeah, deserts don't have a lot of that. Not very often. I told my grandmother I'm not freaking out because I was freaking out about the memory loss, and now I might have an answer, and apparently doctors totally get that. Yeah, I mean, knowing what's happening with your body has to be a lot less scarier than not knowing. I think the most scary thing is when your body isn't doing what it's supposed to do and you don't know why. At least you know why. Just outside of Portland, succulents are indoor only here, but east of the Cascades here in Oregon has that same climate. Yeah, we can do succulents outdoors here because we have a big outdoor succulent garden. I like story time with Megan. Okay, good. I realized afterwards, I was like, I just tried to say something reassuring, and I don't know if it actually was, and then I felt really bad. And I was like, you doofus? It might not come through on camera, but I can be socially awkward sometimes. I feel like I'm among my people here, so I feel like you guys get me. But if I ever just say something that's so out in left field, and you're like, why did she say that? Now you know why. Because I can be a total doofus sometimes. Outside of curiosity, I looked up the top 5 rainiest years and how much rain. 2014 was the year that we were there. 2002, 2023. Yeah. 2014 was the year that we were there. You'll always remember the year that we were in England because it was the year we left a month before they did the referendum in Scotland about whether or not Scotland was going to separate from England. And I think it was a year or two after that that they did the Brexit vote. So they did this whole campaign, Better Together, because we were there during the whole Better Together campaign. And Scotland voted to stay because they wanted to remain in the European Union, and then they got yanked out of the European Union by Brexit. I don't know why it posted twice. I assumed you were just that stunned. Hang on, I gotta lean out of frame here and blow my nose a little bit. Oh my goodness. So today we are working more on Ghost Path. This is our first round of working on book 2 here on stream, although I am 2 scenes deep already. So we're starting with scene 3. And it's both book 3 and the final book in this trilogy, this series. So we're instantly getting into the action. So today is going to be an action scene. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is pretty. That is very pretty. See, those are the kinds of deserts I like, where they have some stuff growing. Although I do also know that on the rare occasions when it does rain in the desert does bloom. There are flowers, there are plants that essentially live beneath the sand, sometimes for years dormant, and then when it rains, they bloom for a very short period of time. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly today because rainy, as I mentioned. So, let's get set up for the clicky clacks. I actually do have my outline open. I need to renumber these because I changed the number of chapters, so everything is off by one. But we are on chapter 43. Okay. Now I need to look at... I do be ready, I believe. I never get out early enough to get good pictures of the desert in bloom, but it's definitely pretty. Usually by the time work schedules, etc. align, and I miss it. Yeah, I imagine that the desert is prettier in the early and late hours versus in the middle of the day. Amazon is such an ass. I have 3 packages that were supposed to get here by today. 2 of them were supposed to be here yesterday, and all are still just saying shipped. Oh no! Is it not giving you any updates for, like, if you click on the extended details? I've noticed that the tracking on Amazon has been wonky lately. Like, it will say, it will go further in the process and then it will like back up, so I always check the detailed tracking just in case. Although if they handed it over, because this is what I've noticed, if they handed it over to another courier for delivery, sometimes it backs up the tracking. So I've noticed that it will say, it will be just on the shipped, but if I look at the extended tracking, it will say arrived at destination, and then I can use the tracking number on, because we usually get from Dragonfly, so then I can go to Inalcom/Dragonfly and check it there, and it's usually further along in the process. Don't care about background, but let's hang out inside your train. We can do that. I was just about to say, if anybody would like to, do you have a preference for the train? You said you don't have a preference for the train background. Why am I asking something you already answered? It's Thursday! If anybody has an activity or a spirit companion they'd like to hang out with, this is setting quite the tone for the day. Yeah, so if anybody has, sorry, brain reset. If anybody has something they would like to redeem, now is the time. I believe we've got 2 hydrates on the board. We're going to go ahead and do those now. A 1. And a 2. And a stretchy stretch. I am going to go do my quick, cheeky little break that we usually do right before we begin. I identify with your brain reset and silliness. Sometimes you'll just be in the middle of something and your brain will be like, doop. And you'll be like, okay, there was a thing. I was saying it. It's gone now. Who knows when it's gonna come back. I don't know why today is that type of day, but today is that type of day. Let's do the strawberry one. It's a strawberry day. Oh my god, they are so cute when they game. Look at that. Just, it's so fucking adorable. So fucking cute. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break and remind you guys to get up, to stretch, to move around, grab something to eat and or drink depending on your needs at the current time. Remember to move around, stretch, take your meds if you need to take your meds. Check that you've done that, because I always forgot. I added this reminder to stream because I needed it, and then I just kept it after I no longer needed it. And when we get back, there will be a veritable flurry of clicky clacks coming your way for the next 30 minutes. We back! Let me just get settled beneath the warm blanket. Michael Bolden TV, thank you so much for following. I think I'm saying that right. I can't read names, you guys. I think it's Michael and not Michelle, but I'm second guessing myself. Welcome in either way. Thank you for the follow. Sorry that I was AFK and missed the lovely celebration that happened on screen at the time. All right, we are set up for 3 30-minute sprints with 15-minute breaks. Hopefully, Writer Brain is more with it today. Actually, let's, since we don't care about which background we have going on, let's go hang out in this one. Let's do, hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, hopefully Writer Brain is ready to be better than non-writer brain. If your writer brain finds mine, tell it to send mine home. You know, while I'm wandering around in the mists of creativity, I'll just... It might not be your brain, but I'll try and send one your way. I can't promise it will be the one you had before. I don't even know if this one's originally mine. I think it might have belonged to Domrin or something. I don't know. Alright. Let's do the thing. Oh god. Don't perceive me yawning. Because then you might yawn as well. Alright. Well, the mug and the little crab. This is one of the reskins for the knitting spider that you get with the kitchen DLC. Strawberry flavored. Right, I planned a whole opening paragraph and then I forgot it. Hello, hello. How's it going? Is it RPOS metal? Does that stand for something in particular? How's it going? It's not friendly. Real piece of stuff. Pretty good. Given my hand a break from drawing. Oh, so is this a type of metal that you work with? I admit that my brain instantly went to heavy metal, like the music. The first and the name are actually separate. I see, I see, I see. Hey, Caledon, how's it going? Are you producing today? Go by metal? My old tag was full metal, as in the anime. Oh, nice! The real piece of shit was just a funny ad. Nice! Well, welcome in! I take it, since you are taking a break from drawing, that you are an artist. Are you working on anything in particular this month? Already worked a little today, and I'm free for the remainder of today, working on my novels on and off. Heck yeah, Celadon. You're just in time. We're in the middle of our first sprint. Write and draw, actually. Working on a comic for a dark fantasy story. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Oh, Metal, thank you for the follow. Heck yeah. Had to look up some place names in there, but we got there. Let's see. How many words was that? 1,532. A little less because I had to stop and look up some names. Which I don't usually do, but I did kind of have to do for this one. Currently working on a dystopian solar punk novel. Oh, interesting. I don't know that I've heard of dystopian and solar punk being matched before. That sounds cool. Been happy with how it's turning out. Kinda in the same vein as Shadowrun, with cyberpunk plus fantasy combinations where the actual dystopia element is done differently. Nice! I have not done a lot with solar punk, but I do like the aesthetic of it. The cat isn't letting me write again. Aw, give the cat some scritches from us, and then maybe he'll comply. My brain isn't letting me write. I'm seriously considering taking tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday off for my project and letting myself recharge. It sounds like that kind of day where we all are just kind of like, life is life. And Peter's here! How's it going? Peter, is there soup today? Is there a new soup today? Taking a break is good. I just have 10K to catch up to be at a reasonable number for the month. Listen, erase that from your mind. If you're having trouble hitting that goal, it could be because you need the break. And the nice thing is that you can adjust the goal. You can reset the timeline. Give yourself an extra week. You can take the beginning of December to hit that goal. It's okay. It's reasonable. Mad Lad wrote a poem today. Is this a poem about Silas, or is this a different poem? Have a couple of projects I'm working on? Heck yeah. Well, feel free to tell us as much or as little about them as you like. I always like to tell people, we're happy to hear about what you're working on here, but I know some people don't necessarily like to give away details because of spoilers or what have you. So if you don't want to share details, there's no pressure. He did and got a pic put in the Discord because I'm in a picture mood apparently. Kitty! Aw, he's a cutie. Oh, dang. I just saw the photo of the sky you posted. That's crazy cool. Look at that color. I know that sometimes the colors that appear in the sky appear because of, like, chemicals and stuff, but they are pretty. Just hit my creative void about the start of December, so I want to try and get stuff done before then. But if you pace yourself, you might not have to hit a creative void. Usually we hit a creative void if we overtax ourselves. So if you find that you go really hard in November and then you're brain dead at the beginning of December, one probably causes the other. If you go slightly less hard at the end of November, you might have some fuel left over for the beginning of December. It's ambiguous. It works as a Silas poem and without. Oh, interesting. Does it have a particular topic, Mad Lad? My nephew takes nice pictures at times. We've had some pretty interesting skies since we moved here. I do like to take pictures of the sky when it's cool looking. The aesthetic is preserved, but the world I made is very much still dystopian. We have ecological stability, but it's illegal to raise land and livestock. There's a black market for processed meat products. Oh, interesting. Yeah, of course I didn't mean to suggest that solar punk couldn't be dystopian, just that it's not a pairing I've encountered before. But I do really like, I am always fascinated with the idea of places that look like paradise but are hiding something underneath. Maybe I've been conditioned for this because how many episodes of Star Trek are there where they're like, oh, we found this perfect Elysian society, but actually they're awful and terrible and everything's bad here. So I like the idea of that, like, that solar punk aesthetic where everything is green and bright and beautiful, but, like, it doesn't translate to the people. I think that's a fascinating concept. Wasn't implying that. Good. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't, like, imply that in some way. excuse me while I kiss this guy, or whatever Jimi Hendrix said. There's zero soup, but I do have profiteroles. Yes, I hope they're yummy. I don't know why it came out like that. My brain is weird today. I hope they're yummy. Are they, if I'm remembering profiteroles right, did they have like a particular flavor? Or topping? December is when the winter visitors come out in droves. My dad's death anniversary is also December, and the holidays kind of make it still rough. I do know December is a rough month. I'm also dealing with the fact that I have half the time of December to get stuff done, and I'm gonna run out of time before Christmas visitors come. It just is. It's titled Roots, and it's all about the idea of being separated from home. But I was yanked like the umbilical cord and heartlessly snipped from society like a tumor. Damn. I have a paranormal PI story I am both writing and converting into a comic script, which I am working with an artist to perfect. Then I have a dark fantasy story I've been building up for a while, which I'm trying to turn into my first comic ever. Well, good luck, Metal. That sounds awesome. I've always wanted to make a comic, but I've never had the art skills. So I don't know a ton about, like, scripting for comics, but it sounds like it would be super fun. I do work with one of our community members, Delta Flareon. I shouldn't say I work with her. I feel like she would say that, but I feel like I don't do a ton of the work. She does all the work. But I help her with editing for her comic, and it's super awesome. She made me this. Well, she made this and she sent me one. She didn't make it specifically for me. I still don't know how she did this, but this is a holographic card that she made of Oak and Giovanni for her comic. And it's gorgeous and I love it. And it's magic to me. I don't know how it changes. But she custom made this, and it's super cool. And I keep that here on my desk with Nessie, Ogopogo, and the octopuses, the octopi, and Yoshi. The overall themes I want to explore involve human depravity, even in a scarcity-free society. It is a good topic because it's very, very relevant. You might like The Gate to Women's Country, then. It's one of my favorite books, and it's a utopia about a society run by women, but not all is as it seems. But also, the secrets are kind of not that outrageous, in my opinion, so I always feel a bit conflicted when it's described as a dystopia. I don't know if I've heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. Just regular profiteroles, except not because it's some kind of liquid cream instead of a whipped cream, which is scrumdilly. I also have never had the art skills for a comic, but at some point I'll be begging our best friend Ocelot, because Ocelot does the moving video game comics, which are the magic, I can't remember what they're called, visual novels, I'm assuming. It's a very cool, yeah, it's a very cool card. She sent this to me as a thank you for helping her out with her comic, and I'm completely enamored by it. I usually keep it on oak, but some days, depending on the way my desk has shifted, it switches to Giovanni, and I'm just, maybe I'm a child, but I'm just completely, I just think it's so cool that it changes. And I asked her once how she did it, and she said it has something to do with like a laminate cover that she puts on it. I have no idea how you get two pieces of art that switch between each other, but she can do it, and it's amazing. So, can I spell Delta Flareon correctly today? There it is, Delta Flareon. Let me give her a quick shout out, just 'cause. If you're interested in the artist who made that, it is Delta Flareon. She is a member of our community. Not always around during our streams, during my streams, because she keeps odd hours, but very cool, very chill. Does a lot of Pokemon art and other art, and I believe is open for commissions. So Just so you guys know. Megan is secretly keeping someone called Brian. Did she kidnap him or is he there willingly? I have someone named Brian? You mean Brian from Monster Prom? Megan's brain is massive and must be hailed. I mean, I just play a lot of visual novels. It's cool. I sided with Akasha on Queen of the Damned, so I wonder if I'll see it as a dystopia either. Interesting. Actually just got page 9 of the Dark Fantasy. It's about the greed for power and the length people will go to hold it. Again, extremely relevant. I had never heard of TGTWC either, the Gate to Women's Country, until I was doing some research for dystopian novels. It was such a good find. I really enjoyed it. It does have some strong themes. Let me just Google this. To Women's Country, so that it's open for me. Published in 1988. I kind of wonder, because it's giving me vibes of an Outer Limits episode. It's not the same though. I was trying not to say too much for spoilers. All I can really say is that is what would women want to be kept as a secret in a society where women rule in a utopia? I mean, I have to say women can actually be super awful to each other, so I'm curious, because it's written by a woman, so I am curious what she put in there. Gotta get on the road. Little ones get out of school soon. Metal, thank you so much for dropping by and telling us about your projects. Hope to see you again soon. Good luck with the school pickup. I know Taryn is out at school pickup now as well. And we'll hope to see you again soon. Is that where the book where the men live outside in the wilderness? It sounds like it, yes. Based on what Wikipedia says, I didn't read the whole thing, but yes, it sounds like it. I am going to pause the timer because I am going to take a quick break to run to the washroom, reheat my coffee, and just get up and move around because we got to do that every now and then. If you guys would like to redeem a activity, a location, or a spirit companion for the second sprint, go ahead and find those in the down below and get those in. We'll set those up as soon as we get back. And we will move swiftly into the next round of clicky clacks because I got to get to the action part of this scene. So I'll be right back. Um, so I did peek at the book's description, and it's not the same as the Outer Limits episode that I was thinking of. But there was an episode of the Outer Limits where it was like, I think there was like a war or something, and like most of the men were killed, and some of them were like kept in cryo freeze or something. So it was a society of all women, and they lived in peace because there were no men. And if there were no men, then there'll never ever be fighting. That's the assumption of everybody, is that we would never fight each other if women were in charge. And so essentially they like woke up with one of the men. I honestly, with older books, I don't mind spoilers. I read a lot of classics even knowing kind of what happens, so it's the kind of thing where for that type of book I don't necessarily mind spoilers. It is the idea that women would never fight with each other is BS. Women fight with each other all the time over different things, but I don't know who wrote the Outer Limits episode, but I would bet anything it was written by a man, yes. And so a man is like woken up from cryo sleep and like reintroduced to the women, and it turns out that it was like a test to see if men could be reintegrated into society, but all of the women start fighting over him because he's the only man and they each want to be with him. So they decide that men can't be reintroduced to society because all they cause is strife, even though really the people who were causing the strife was the women because of jealousy. It was completely like... But then the twist was... like the guy had been talking about how he had a fiance before he went away to whatever he ended up being put in cryosleep, and his fiance was the older woman who was like the head of like the group of women that he was like reintroduced to, and when she was putting him back to sleep she revealed who she was, and he was like no blah. And that was an episode of The Outer Limits. To remain hello. It feels like that person hasn't seen women interacting very much. It was very much an episode that tried to say, like, the presentation of the episode, like, the conceit of the society was that men cause strife, but, like, what the writer was trying to say was that women actually cause the strife and blame it on men. It was, honestly, the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits kind of suffer from the same issues for me, which is always that the twist is silly. Very, very few, like, episodes of that have ever actually, like, I've actually felt like, oh yeah, that was a good, actual good story. But that one has always stuck in my brain because it was so bizarre. Just like the clownfish, in the absence of one gender, the other steps into the role. This book is not the one I read as a teenager. It's a similar premise, and likely this was the one I read was loosely based on. Interesting. 1,000% written by a man. Yeah, it's a pretty sure bet. I would like to start a petition to ban titles starting with The Outer forever. The Outer Limits was just like a knockoff Twilight Zone. I think it was called The Outer Limits. Season 4, episode 17, Lithia. The episode in question was written by Sam Egan, but directed by a woman. Yeah, but if the script was written by a guy, then, like, the person who directs that has to work off the script. I don't know. I would like to ban the romantasy title template, The Thing of Thing and Things. You don't like The Thing of Thing and Things? We just gotta get some Chuck Tingle in there. The butt of the pounding. And what's something else that happens in Chuck Tingle? Raptors. There's no strife without men. It's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but there's plenty of strife without men. Yeah, women can be pretty awful to each other, I have to say. It's one thing that I've mentioned this before, this one thing I really hate in fiction. I'm actually just gonna leave the setup as it is unless someone wants to redeem something, because I'm chill with this setup right now. It's one thing that I really hate is that women tend to compete with each other over men a lot in fiction, and I hate it. But to credit, it is a thing that does happen in real life a lot, and it shouldn't. We shouldn't fight over. I guess this applies for guys too. Guys shouldn't fight over a potential partner either, but it is a thing that happens. The Outer Limits was Dollar Store Twilight Zone, 100%. Go find an all-girls school, take a good look around, and then tell me there's no strife. Yeah. Or just walk into a room where two sisters are hanging out. Please ban the word court from romantasy titles of any format. Butt pounding in raptors? Okay, that I would... Yeah, right? If it was the butt of pounding in raptors, we could get behind that. Somebody call Chuck Tingle! Get that man on the line. I'm gonna unlock the timer in a second. I tend to just cry over women and wish they like me. Peter, we like you. You'll find the Gate to Women Country interesting. The women all treat each other with respect, but there's realistic interaction between them, such as family conflicts between mother and daughter. Trans wizard Harriet Porber and the bad boy Parasar. Oh my goodness. Man, Chuck Tingle provides a critical service to the world, I have to say. I prefer light novel titles, even when they're formulaic. They're good titles because they tell you what the story is about. Like, after Rebirth, the Prime Minister just wants to call it quits. After becoming a spare tire, I was pursued by the villain and the male lead at the same time. After being forced to marry the evil Star General. I mean, I like the succinct nature of a few word title, but I do use title schemes. Like, you guys will notice that I use title schemes for my books, so each trilogy gets its own, like, title pattern. So for Ghost Path, the titles are, what are they? It is The Railroad of Lost Souls, The Door of Failed Wishes, and The Grotto of Unspoken Prophecy. So it's all named after places that are in the Cosmic Junkyard that the characters encounter. But my most recently published books from the Arvalia Chronicles were Madness Beyond Control, Words Beyond Reason, and Life Beyond Time. So each gets its own little title scheme. It's still better if they both fight rather than one being jealous of the other for no reason, because in her head the other girl is in competition even though she's not suitable for the dude in question at all, or shows even no interest. But yeah, the moment the girl thinks she's a threat, it's done. Yeah. I don't remember the name of the dinosaur. That's okay. You've conveyed that it's a dinosaur. Things beyond things. Ah, Carly, hello. How's it going, my friend? I know you're having a bit of a rough day. Ass hurts, but it's okay. I would imagine. It's one of the harder things to rest after having it be hurt because you have to sit on it. I almost said after having it be penetrated, but that would have implied the wrong thing. Punctured? That would have implied the wrong thing, too. With a gun. They shot those steroids right up in there with a bullet. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I guess I'm just collecting med allergies like Pokemon because this is my third. No! Med allergies suck, man. Especially if it's like, we have this really easy thing that would solve your problem. Oh, you're allergic to it? Then our only other option is this other thing, which is not really very convenient for you. Sorry, bud. Apparently, Word doesn't recognize missteps as a word. So we'll just add that to the dictionary because it is a word. Fuck you. It is a word. I know words, and that is one of them. I think you could use either blossoms or bloom interchangeably, to be honest. I know some words, okay, you guys? Some of them I know. Some of them I hate. Some of them I know. apologize. Thank you. Thank you, Kale. And thank you, Tori. I always try to lean away from the mic when I feel them coming. Hey, Rai, how's it going? Thank you, Sardonisms. I know what you mean, even if it's not spelled right. Because I don't know the right way to spell it. That is not one of the words that I necessarily know. I know it, but not, like, know it. Carly, what's up? That's a very long message that I don't have time to read right now, so Carly, you're in charge. You do you, and I trust your judgment. You're a mod for a reason. I'm behind. hang on. I'm mid-thought, and I got, hang on. Time is frozen. Brain overloading. Not quite at the end of this scene, but I also am not entirely sure how I want to end this scene, so I'm going to let the timer go. Because I might need a moment to thinky think. Alright. I think I decided how to finish the scene, so that's cool. We'll finish that scene next sprint and start a new one. Sorry that I did not look up at chat because I was running behind and I wanted to catch up. That's 3,326 words so far for this scene and almost finished. Carly, I trust you. I didn't get a chance to fully read the message, but honestly, there are some things that just don't work in productivity streams, and if people don't get that, they don't get that. I definitely know that these types of streams are not for everyone, and not everyone really understands them, and I just did not have time to look up. Distractions are, you know, not necessarily for this space. Cheers, Rai. What are you up to today? I'm gonna also hit the save button because we got a save alert from I hit the save button when it came up before, but I'm saying to hit the save button now. Scrolling up. There was so much happening during this sprint. I hate the fact that I can't autocorrect form to from because I still need to use the word form for my writing. It's one of those things where if you type the wrong thing, you just have to catch it in edits. Peter knows at least 11 words. Are these regular words or curse words? I know several of the latter, and they're all currently directed at this story. I know many curse words. I mean, if we're talking about curse words, I know a lot of that. I know why the POV is wonky. This was actually part of the chapter from Terraneth's POV, and I shifted to Summer, though I still had mixed POVs when it was in the same chapter, so my admonishment to pass my stands. You can have more than one POV in a chapter if you have a chapter break in between. As long as you've cut the scene and like hard cut to another narrator for the other scene, that's okay. Then I sneezed. We've reached the sneeze. Amaya, is today a little better than yesterday? Amaya, how are you doing? Microsoft Word is pretty good about those these days. Curse words? Still in bed? Amaya, are you sick? Are you resting? Are you feeling okay? I hope you're not sick. I assume that you meant it was all mixed together, which is head hopping. But just in case, you can do two POVs in the same chapter if you switch, like if you hard cut. Working overnight tonight? I see. It's gotta be hard to adjust your schedule if you do some days and some nights. Oh yeah, Carly, didn't you want to ask Amaya about something? Paging Carly. Paging Dr. Carly to the ER. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go use the restroom, reheat my coffee. Sorry, I know that last sprint was a bit crazy, but I did get distracted a bit during the first scene, and it slowed me down during the first sprint because I needed to look up place names, and it slowed me down, so I really, really wanted to get as much into that second sprint as I could. And now I'm just kind of in a situation where I just need to decide where to put the cut between this chapter and the next chapter, if I want to fully resolve the situation, or if I want to let the situation overhang into the next scene. So I'm gonna take a quick pop AFK and see if I can get my brain to decide what it wants to do. And when I get back, we will get ready for our third and final sprint. If anybody would like to redeem a location, a spirit companion, or an activity for the final sprint, go ahead and pull them from the down below. Otherwise, I'll just kind of choose randomly. Hey, Ink and Play, how's it going? I know a stupid amount about the Warhammer 40k lore, even though I've never played it. I do know the lore, though. Weirdly. One time, I just randomly did a deep dive on Warhammer 40k lore, and it was very fascinating, even though I've never played the game, like, ever. I'm gonna pause the timer, and I'll be right back. This ocean at dawn is what's the ocean? Sorry, it's cutting off weirdly. I'm just gonna put it at morning so that you can see it. Ay, ay, ay. Carly, Amaya's here. I know you had a question for Amaya. There we go. Okay. No worries. I just remember the other day. Well, we have to stay, the activity is just for the activity and the location is just for the location, so we have to stay here, but we can sip the coffee here in the train, as Sardonisms pointed out. Why couldn't I think of Sardonism's name? I'm sitting here looking at it. I wish that they would let you customize your sipping cup, because they let you customize your computer and game console and stuff. So hopefully that's something they'll add in the future, is that you can customize your cup. Because I want to drink from this mug. I want this, like, there's hot coffee here and there's hot coffee here, but I want this to be the mug. Do you want the... I mean, I guess it's technically the same ocean. But as long as Sardonisms is okay. Kia-chan? Sip. Oh, we can't actually sip in the kitchen. We can only eat. If we want to do sipping, we gotta be on the train. Yeah, I forgot that you can sip on the, at the fireplace, but then you won't really be able to see the background as well. It shows hot chocolate in the picture, but I feel like I just feel like that looks like coffee. There we go. We did it. We got there. Normal ocean at dawn is so good. I actually just I like the ocean backgrounds. There's some backgrounds that I just really, really like anytime. The ocean background is really good at any time. The Cloud City is really good at any time. I really like the city at night, though. I feel like having the lights on in the city just makes the map have a lot more depth to it. They are adding a ton of backgrounds to the bedroom in the new update, which comes out next Monday. I thought they were just gonna add the ones that weren't there. Like, I was just expecting the Cloud City and the under the ocean, but they've added them all. So there's like new backgrounds for all of the train maps that are coming into the bedroom. I'm still kind of hoping that they will eventually port the Pumpkin Swamp over to the train, because I think that would be really cool. But for now, they're just taking all the train background. You have disturbing news? What happened, Carly? We are already, yeah, we are. Saturday will be halfway through November, exactly. The Ides of November. Listen, you can change the goal. It's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't put unreasonable goals on yourself. I made a totally way out there goal. Who knows if I'll get there? I forgot about the writing event. Carly, it's okay. Your intentions were good, and we understand that. Everyone was like, what the hell? Time? Why are we here? Time? Can you stop moving? Time? My hands don't always agree with my brain on which of them types first, but also I was in a Spanish class at the time, and not having to wrestle with the keyboard for accents was kind of a must. Oh, I missed the first part of that, I think. Last time I tried to use it, I decided I'd rather pay Microsoft than have to individually add autocorrect words. I mean, even Words Dictionary isn't 100%. We're less than 2 months away from 2026. That's very true. I have calculated out exactly how much work I can get done before my end of year mark, and it's not enough. It's not enough. I need 2 extra work days that I'm not gonna get. The only writing event I remembered this month was Novempreg. Is that a thing? I've not heard of that before. We need to inform Wolf. We need to inform Wolf stat. I'm on 21,124 words. Need to be at 21,667. Ink and Play, you're so close. You're gonna get there. I want to fast forward to February. No. I just want Christmas break, because then I'm going to do that 4,000 piece puzzle. It's on Tumblr. Of course it is. Why am I not at all shocked by that? We've got to message Woof and ask if he's heard of it. We've got to. 16,635. That's a ton of words. I just told him in the group chat. Perfection. Now we wait. Because his response is either going to be, why, yes, I've known the whole time. Or, I need to look into that. So far behind for me. Usually my Novembers are better. Listen, it's not about previous Novembers. It's just about this November. And you're doing hard stuff. What was the character that we were talking about yesterday? Ghost Pepper? Just my husband. Ooh, hang on. I gotta pause the timer. This is the final sprint. Serendi? I don't know that I can say a ton more about Serendi without massively spoilering the book series. But if you'd like to learn more... I really need to update that, because all 9 of those books are actually published now. It gives you an idea of how often I maintain those. Alright, I am going to go into focus mode and type for the next 30 minutes. For the last 30 minutes. Let's see how it goes. All right. That, pause for 2 seconds. That finishes that scene. Brings us up to 3,743 words for that scene. And I will start a new chapter. Whoops, that's how you spell 4. That's not how you spell 4. Alright. Hey, Veilwraith! Random fact, in the 90s to the 2000s, Cheese Whiz contained anchovies. I did not know that. Gonna take a nap. Have a great whatever your time zone. Exile Fate, good to see you today. Thank you for hanging out. Always appreciate having you around. Enjoy that nap. I spelled it none of those ways, Peter. I put a Y in there. Doesn't go there. Oh my goodness. Why can't I spell this word? This is a word. Oh my god. I feel like this is not a word that usually gets marked in... Have I lost my mind? Fine, add it to the dictionary. I don't know what word is smoking today, but... sorceress. I mean, I don't think you guys can help me make word accept it as a word, but... Not sorceress the way Faded Stardust said it. Sorceress the way Kids Are Asleep said it. I feel like Word has never marked that term wrong before, but all of a sudden it started marking it wrong. I know, right? It's so weird. That's why I was like, have I lost my mind? I know I've used this word this week in Word, and it's not been marked. What are happening? Oh, what? What? I would swear to you that earlier this week I have used that word in a Word document and not had it marked wrong. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm also using a very ass-old version of Word, so the dictionary should not have changed. Sometimes I'll have the same word more than once in the same document, and Word will mark it wrong in one part of the document but not another. It's so weird. I know that I've never... that's why I got so frustrated, because I was like, I have used this word so many times, and I've never seen it marked. It's so weird. Started posting word fails in my Discord because it was getting so out of hand. Also, the kids are asleep. Hello. I think I neglected to say hi to you because I was in a state of distress when you arrived. I used to do that too. I've had some pretty what the fuck moments from Word. I basically don't use this grammar check because it's not really worth it, but I do use the spell check quite a lot. I hope you enjoyed your lurk. Kids are asleep. I use an ass-old version of Word because I got it for free when I was a student and it still works. So why not? Why wouldn't I use it? But that does blow my mind. I have not run a Windows update yet. I'm saving the Windows update for Sunday. There's, by all accounts, nothing ran on this computer that would have caused Word to start marking that word wrong. But it did. And my brain cannot compute this. I used to use OpenOffice and I liked it just fine. It's not supported anymore though, so I don't know if it's any good now. I've used LibreOffice not extensively. It seems fine. But again, I have Word for free, so until the day it dies, I may as well use it. I may as well use this version of Word until it completely crumbles beneath my fingertips from being ancient. Maya. I hope you're getting some good rest. Yeah, I agree with Veilwraith. I think finding the program that works best for you is really the key. I get very, like, set in my ways, and I notice if something changes. Like, I noticed this morning that there's now a window border around Discord, and I hate it. And apparently, they chose to make this update and make it awful, and I hate it. Might have to amalgamate two scenes here. Because I don't think I have enough content for the one scene that I had set aside. Hang on, I'm gonna write one more sentence. I keep being like, I'm gonna be done, and then I write one more sentence. Alright, I'm gonna stop for real. I promise. I'm gonna stop. Just one more sentence. Just one more. Alright, so that is 1,313 words for the second scene. Slightly less than I wanted to do. I was a little slow today. But I'm feeling my way through this book, and I think it's going pretty good. I'm looking at my outline and thinking I probably left more space than I needed to for the events of this, so I might actually amalgamate two scenes, which means I'm going to have back-to-back action scenes, but sometimes it is what it is. Gotta do what feels good. We did write 5,056 words this morning, so I can't complain. That's a pretty darn good amount. And if that isn't a good halfway amount for the day, then that's pretty mean to myself. If I don't call that good, that's pretty mean. So I was a little slower than I wanted to be, but we accomplished quite a lot. So, and we learned that I'm not crazy. Sorceress was a word that was tolerated by word, and now it's not. So I feel good knowing that. All right, let me scroll up, because so many things happened before I lost my mind and after. I'm at 1,267, so there's that at least, and I'm giving myself grace if I at least hit 2,000 words. Heck yeah. Sometimes you gotta take what you can get. And any words at all is always a win. I know that we like big numbers and we like compounding numbers, but any words at all is honestly a win. Say the word, darn you, Megan. I remember one of the word processing documents wanting me to change Heron's name to hernia. Yeah, it does that. It do things like that. Sometimes I'll have the same word more than once in the same document, and Word will mark it wrong in one part of the document but not in another. That's crazy. Mine's 2010. I am using Word 2007. I would probably have fewer troubles if I had 2010, but I was not still in school when that one came out. I was not still in college. I don't want to pay a subscription to keep my own writing. Same. Word is the only word processor I found that will do word count in Thai correctly. Thai doesn't have spaces between words. Oh, interesting. But I guess if you set the language to Thai, that makes sense. It would be programmed for that language. I'm contractually obligated to use Word, so I can't escape it. I used to work at a company that it was the same. They used Word for everything. Haven't found another word processing program I like nearly as well. I do remember reading that one. The ICC apparently just switched to Open Desk. I've not even heard of that one. Bought mine at 2010 at steep discount when I was a college student. I went to school for IT and networking, so they provided us an enterprise version of Word. So my version of Word is ass old, but it has everything. It has Word, it has PowerPoint, it has Excel, it has all of the things. It has the really fancy stuff too, like Access, I think it is. I never use it. I'm now looking at my programs. Like it has Outlook, it has Access, it has all the things. All the things are in there. And I only use 2 of them. I use Word and I use Excel. But it's free. And it was a group key, and the group key has just never stopped working because I assume it has like a very large number of licenses. So until it just dies on me, I will keep using it. Tried Scrivener, could never wrap my head around it. I've never actually tried it. I do know some people who really like it, but it sounds complicated to me. I love it for its ability to split the interface both vertically and horizontally and have 2 documents open at the same time. I mean, I can do that with Word. I ended up being better off tabbing between 15 documents than trying it all at once. Fair. Might go to Scrivener for drafting because Word is not being useful. I used to use Google Docs, but I'm trying to get away from them. I've never really liked Google Docs. It is a good free program for like basic word processing functions, but it's not good for formatting. The window border around Discord and the recent change of the size of the box where you type in are driving me nuts. Yes! Oh my god, I noticed that too. There's unutilized space now and I hate it. It drives my brain batty and I hate it. I was thinking about poison, and I bet it tastes terrible. Fun fact, one of the reasons why we dislike certain tastes is so that we don't eat poisonous things. Because poison does tend to have a specific taste. Just realized that my characters have been withholding information from each other without realizing it. But have they been withholding information from you? Because that does happen sometimes. Do those bad guys live in jars? $111 words for Ink and Play. Heck yeah. I thought Peter said you brought Poseidon to a poison party. That's not what it says, but that's how I read it. Mad Lad, thank you for hanging out. I hope you got many, many poets. Poets? I hope you got many, many poetries done. Words. Amaya, I love you. Thank you for hanging out. It's good to see you. We don't usually get to see you at this time. My daily goal is only 1K because I have so much stuff on my plate. That's good. If you have a lot going on, you should keep it simple. And then if you end up writing more than that, it's a bonus. Skull Smuggery, hello, welcome in. I'm using Campfire to write, another program I'm not familiar with. I'm assuming you must like it if you use it. I've only seen Excel in Access in Nightmares. I use Excel to make cross-stitch patterns and also spreadsheets. I love me a good spreadsheet. My day job is freelance, but comes in bursts, and I'm in burst right now. Plus, I edit a magazine. Ooh, that sounds super fun! The magazine, not the bursts. But I do think if you have a lot of stuff going on, it's perfectly reasonable to slow down on, like, the writing or, you know, you have to balance things out, right? You still have to have time for yourself. I work pretty much 12 to 14 hours a day, and it's something I struggle with is stopping work. You have to stop and do stuff for yourself sometimes. You have to block out times where you're not working. And that's one of the reasons why when we started talking about the How I Met Your Pepper project, it has to be very hands-off for me, and it has to be very long-term because I just cannot fit anything extra. My time is completely accounted for. You work with words all day, so definitely can see where that would be a more obtainable goal. Even if you don't, if you just do other work. Writing takes energy, yo, and you gotta have energy to give it. Been using Campfire to write my first draft, but I also write in Google Docs, which I'm trying to use less, and LibreOffice, but it's on my computer, which currently isn't working. I'm sorry to hear that your computer isn't working. I do know that a lot of people are moving away from Google Docs for obvious reasons, and it kind of makes me sad because it was a nice, free, easy-to-access program, but there are concerns now about anything you put in there. I count pills and deal with cranky old people who think they're better than you. See, that's gotta be super draining. I could not do your job, Mai. I hope you got many poets done. A very different thing from what I wanted to say. My day job is real estate appraisal. Oh, interesting. But that does mean I don't drain my word reserve. Now is not the time to ask, but I'm so curious about, like, how it actually works, how, like, appraisal actually works. 'Cause we 100% got shortchanged on our last appraisal, I think. That we had to, when we moved into this house, we had to get our last house appraised because we were borrowing against the equity, and it ended up being fine. It ended up working out, but they definitely, I think whoever came in to do the appraisal definitely, like, shortchanged us. Which then sucks because then you can't get the bank to give you as much as they should. And again, it worked out, but I'm so curious what you use to determine the value of things. My streams for video games are my mandatory fun. Heck yeah. I don't work at all on Saturday. Work is banned on Saturday. I can't touch it. I can't think about it. I get one full day of rest and relaxation. Otherwise, I go totally insane. Let's hit this because it's waving at me. Do not perceive how much time I spend in this game. Wow, I have so many spirit credits. I need to spend some of those. But not today, because today it's time to raid. It's time to see who's hanging out, who's doing stuff, where are we gonna go. we're gonna go say hi to Digital Cow. I don't think we've raided them this week. Although Digital Cow is playing a game at the moment. So we could drop in on Digital Cow, who's playing a game, or we could head over to the Simple Sprinkle, who is doing a co-working stream, but it looks like a group co-working stream? Question mark. So do we have a preference? Don't appraise houses, but you use comparable sales of similar houses. Interesting. So why do they come in and look around the house? If houses in your area are selling for poop prices and your house is similar, it is. I guess maybe they have to see the quality of the inside of the house. Maybe that's what it is. I will say we did live in a townhouse, and we were one of the better houses in the development. So it probably felt like we got shortchanged because our house was nicer than the other houses surrounding it. And we knew that. We had been in other units, so we knew that ours was typically nicer than most of the rest of them. But I've always been curious about that, because it feels like, and this is in no way meant to be a hit against people who do this work, but it feels like they come in, they look around your house, they're like, yes, they mark things down on a notebook, and then they go off and screw you over. I shouldn't say that, that sounds so mean, but it was just like, this guy came in, he walked around the house for like 10 minutes, and then he left, and you just get, the bank just calls you and tells you what results they gave. And it's like, okay. Appraisers expect the house to check quality and condition. Yeah, makes sense. I at least got some writing done this stream. Hey, don't think of it as a failure. It just took extra time. It can be like that. Sometimes the market is just bad. Yeah, well, and we don't really, I have to say, we don't really know, obviously, I just said we really don't know how the appraising works. So I try not to get too, like, twisted out of shape about it, because it worked out for us. We bought this house, the pandemic happened, we made a killing off of our old house because of the pandemic. Short version of the story, we were renting out that house. For some people are going to be like, this means nothing to me. We borrowed against the equity of our last house because we were having trouble selling it. So we borrowed against the equity to buy this house, and we rented out the other house to a couple who wanted to buy it but did not yet have the credit to buy. And so what happened was we were basically just paying off the interest on the loan for that house. Because at the time that we bought it, we couldn't afford to pay more. And then the pandemic hit, and it was a variable rate mortgage, and all of the interest rates bottomed out because everything was the way it was. Our payments went way down. We made tons of money off the rental. And then a year later, the renters bought it for a higher price than we would have been able to sell it for at the beginning of the pandemic. So we ended up making a killing off of it. Even though we felt like we got shortchanged on the appraisal, it ended up working out for us really, really well. But it was just a lucky circumstance, right? It just so happened that we moved 4 months before the pandemic, and the decisions we made ended up benefiting us, even though we had no way of knowing in the long term that was going to happen. We really, really did. We lucked out hardcore, and we know that it was just luck. There's no way we could have predicted that was going to happen. We were prepared for a much tougher financial situation until we could get the house sold. And it was just this very small silver lining in a really shitty situation that ended up working out. So lots of people get hit by the variable rate mortgage in the opposite direction. And unfortunately, we know a lot of people who bought during the pandemic who did get hit by that. So we definitely felt like we dodged a bullet. Not me realizing 40 minutes later I never unmuted the stream. Oh no, sardonisms! It's okay, I was just talking about real estate stuff. Let's go say hey to Digital Cow. Even though they're playing a game, we've been talking a lot about breaks. We did a lot of productivity this week. Let's go say hey to someone who's taking a break. Oh, it looks like they actually wrapped up the game and are now producing. Either way, let's go say hi. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. Real estate over, back to writing. Listen, we only accepted the variable rate mortgage because we were hoping to not have that mortgage for very long. We were hoping that we were going to sell within a year or two. Because I'm usually very against variable rate. I'm a very safe person when it comes to investments. I do not like gambling because I usually do not have a lot of luck. So it just so happened that it worked out. But also I know that everything I just said has probably glazed over a lot of people's eyes and they've been like, I don't even know what equity is, Megan. What the fuck are you even talking about? So final spiel for the week. If you stuck with me through that whole spiel about real estate, thank you. This is my last stream for the week because it is Thursday, even though I woke up this morning thinking it was Monday. Thank goodness that wasn't real. So I will not be back until next week, and next week is going to be a little bit iffy. I might only fit one stream in next week, so we might not have a fully fledged schedule. Keep an eye on the Discord. I'm definitely going to try to stream Tuesday, but I might not be able to fit in anything beyond that because I'm going to be having the fun lady times that we all love and enjoy / sarcasm. So keep an eye on the Discord. I will try to fit in at least one stream, but everything's going to be pretty up in the air next week. But the week after that, the final week in November, I'm going to go super hardcore on November Writing Challenge. So there will be streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There will be a barrage of clicky clacks, just a Niagara Falls of clicky clacks. So look forward to that. But if you want more of me before I possibly melt into oblivion for a little while, check out It's Wolf stream at 7:30 p.m. PST on Saturday. We are back to the usual cozy chaos time. Hopefully I will stream on Tuesday. If I wake up feeling like death warmed over, I promise I'll take care of myself instead. But I do want to try to at least get one in. I miss you guys when I can't stream. But I promise to take care of myself, because that's important too. I spend all this time on here telling you guys to take care of yourselves. I gotta take care of myself too. I try. Guys, on that note, remember to eat, to sleep, to drink, to get up, to move around, to take care of yourself. Because these meat sacks we're driving around need maintenance, even though they don't come with a maintenance manual. Take your meds if you need to take your meds. Take a nap if you need to take a nap. Take care of yourself. Don't stress out over those deadlines. We set those deadlines. We can move them. It's okay. You got this. I believe in you. And I will be around. Check out, keep an eye on the Discord tomorrow. I'm going to try to post about the How I Met My Pepper fanfic community project. So keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, guys, just take care of yourselves because you're awesome and you're amazing. And I appreciate the hell out of you being here and listening to all this rambling crap I just said. And I will see you all again very, very soon.